Well, good afternoon. I'm Dow Constantine, the King County Executive, and I want to thank you all for attending this bill signing. Today, I am proud to announce that the arena legislation passed yesterday by our county and city councils will shortly become the law of King County and of Seattle. Let me be clear. The process is still not finished, but a major and critical milestone has been achieved. As a result of this legislation, we have a clear path forward, as the approved Memorandum of Understanding spells out the conditions that Chris Hansen and his investors must satisfy before the city and county provide the necessary public financing. Mr. Hansen and his ownership group can now start in earnest on the planning and development of the new state-of-the-art multi-purpose NBA and NHL arena. The county and city are committed to carrying out our regulatory responsibilities and the required review of the project under the State Environmental Policy Act. And maybe most importantly, the passage of this legislation allows Chris Hansen to undertake the really important work of acquiring an NBA team and bringing our Sonics home. And let's not forget, also looking to convince the NHL to bring hockey to our region. Now, getting here was not easy. We couldn't have done it without the broad and deep support of people from all walks of life and a wide range of local organizations. I've rarely seen a coalition of support that includes businesses large and small, and unions and youth groups and human service agencies and nonprofits and fans who have 41 years of Sonics memories, moms and dads, sons and daughters united to make this happen. I also never knew there were so many hockey fans in King County. Am I right? You know? Thousands of them, and thousands of people came to public hearings, wrote letters and signed petitions, all the people who you see behind us, and the many thousands more who they represent continually stated that this proposal would mean creating jobs, benefiting our youth and community, and ultimately boosting our civic pride. We came together to this Rainier Vista Boys and Girls Club to have this bill signing event because it's a great organization that stands for all of these values. We also wouldn't be here without the close cooperation and regional partnership between King County and the City of Seattle, and of course, without the vision, dedication, and thoughtfulness of Chris Hansen, who had the audacity to actually propose this project. 8 months ago, when the mayor and I announced this proposal, we articulated 3 key principles: that the project must be self-financing and not rely on any new taxes, that the project protect the public from financial risk, that binding non-relocation agreements for the NBA and NHL teams be in place, covering the full term of any public financing. This agreement not only satisfies all 3 of those principles, but through the work of our legislative branch leaders, we have added a $40 million infrastructure fund to address existing transportation issues in the South Downtown area. This agreement sets a new standard. It is unprecedented. And everything we've learned from our experience with past stadium agreements informed this proposal. The commitment to invest more than $800 million of private capital in the arena and the purchase of 2 teams represents a strong vote of confidence in the future of our county and our city, especially in this challenging economic climate. It's one of the largest commitments of private capital ever made for a project like this in North America. Today is a shining example of what we can accomplish when we work together as a region and as a team. So before I hand this off to the mayor, I want to thank some folks on the county side who worked very hard to reach this milestone. The citizen-led Arena Review Panel, whom the mayor and I both appointed back in May, was the first to vet this proposal. And I know some of the members are here today. We have co-chairs Jan Drago and Lenny Wilkins with us here today. Coach. We have Maud Dadan and Stella Ortega with us here today. And I know there are probably some others. I want to thank my Chief of Staff, Sung Yang, who did remarkable work on this agreement. And I want to thank our brilliant budget director, Dwight Dively, who made sure all the numbers squared up. Our lawyer, yeah. And now for all the lawyers in the room, we'd like to join together in thanking our lawyer from the county side, Pete Ramels of the prosecutor's office. And I want to let you know that I really appreciate the collaboration of members of our county council, including Councilmember Larry Gossett, Councilmember Joe McDermott, Councilmember Bob Ferguson, who've joined us here today, and I believe Councilmember McDermott will be speaking in just a few minutes. And I also want to thank the Boys and Girls Club, the Rainier Vista Boys and Girls Club, for hosting this event, and to my staff who helped organize it. Now it's my honor to introduce the mayor of the city of Seattle, Mike McGinn. There you are.
So thank you, everybody. It's a lot of hard work from the supporters, the staff at the City and County Executive Constantine, Chris Hansen, the City and County Councils. We've taken a big step today to get a new arena built in Seattle and bring the Sonics back home where they belong. Now, this is possible only, we're going to sign agreements today, which we'll talk about the Memorandum of Understanding. It took a lot of hard work and partnership and problem solving, and I just want to express my thanks to Dow Constantine and Chris Hansen for your work on this. Thank you so much. But the work didn't stop there. We appointed an arena review panel, a citizen review panel, as you know, and they looked carefully at it, vetted it closely, and then we forwarded it to the city and county councils who did their work as well. And I'm really proud of the partnership we have between the city and the county, not just between the executive and the legislative branches as well. Thank you so much. I've got to make some thank yous to my staff as well. Ethan Raup of my staff, Julie McCoy in the mayor's office, Hall Walker in the budget office. We had a great legal team as well. By the way, I didn't know Pete from the county was working on it. Pete has a mean jumper, by the way. I played basketball with him for years as a teammate. Yeah, he can play. It's true. So thank you, Pete, for your work on this. You know, we had to work together very hard to meet the expectations of the public. We put together a proposal that doesn't require new taxes, doesn't impact our existing services, and that was critically important. We worked together, the city and county councils and the executive branches, to address transportation concerns and begin a partnership with the port about how we maintain their vitality as we move forward. Building an arena is going to be a very significant investment in our city, upwards of $800 million in private investment. Bringing back the Sonics will create good family wage jobs. I stood up with representatives of our service worker unions and construction unions to praise Chris Hansen for coming to the table and making a long-term deal that will mean family wage jobs for years to come. All these partnerships working together from the community, the legislative leaders, our union leaders, our business leaders, this is what we have to do. Not just on this project, but on all sorts of challenges if we're going to build the city we believe in. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. This is how we build a city, is by working together. So this isn't the end of the story. We know that. We still have an environmental review process, but what we have today is an important step forward for an arena, for our community. And of course, it's a day to celebrate. There's some sense of relief but the biggest celebration is yet to come. I look forward to the day when we welcome the Sonics back to Seattle. Thank you, everyone in this room. That day is now closer than ever before. So with that, I'd like to introduce Joe McDermott from the King County Council, who really played a key leadership role in moving this forward through the process. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here today. This truly is an exciting day. I was a skeptic when I first heard of this proposal. We all know that our region has had a long and sometimes challenging history with sports facilities. But today, I can say I am truly proud of the legislation that will be signed here today. Executive Constantine and Mayor McGinn have done an excellent job of explaining what the legislation does and what it tees up here in Seattle. My colleagues and I want to acknowledge Council Members Reagan Dunn, our Council Chair, Larry Gossett, and my colleague and fellow Blanchette High School student, Bob Ferguson. My colleagues and I carefully vetted the proposal. We too worked with an expert review panel who provided their expertise and further informed our work. We worked with the city to strengthen the financial protections for the taxpayers. We worked to protect freight mobility, and we committed to full environmental and economic impact analysis. But I do want to just take this opportunity to thank my colleagues, our counterparts of the city, staff throughout the county who were instrumental in making this happen, and the region for engaging in such a robust discussion. This included an unprecedented 3-hour joint hearing with the city and county councils, taking public testimony, hearing what this meant to so many fans across the region. And I want to thank another Blanchette High School student, Chris Hansen, for bringing the whole proposal to us. You wondered why I worked so hard to get the reference to, with Blanchette in when I introduced Bob, right? Bob, Chris, and I feel at home in all this green and gold. And finally, I want to share how excited I am for the return of the Seattle Supersonics here to our region. And now it's my pleasure to introduce one of my colleagues on the City Council, someone who served a key role as part of the leadership team on the City Council shepherding the arena proposal through the City Council, Councilmember Mike O'Brien. Mike.
Thank you all so much. You know, we talk a lot about process in the city and how long it takes to get things done. And we're often criticized as elected leaders what that looks like. It's not the fastest way to get things done, but I'm confident that the process that we worked through on this arena deal delivered the best deal for the citizens of the county and the city of Seattle. And I'm really proud of the collaboration and the work we did together. It started with great vision from Mr. Hansen, working with the mayor and the executive. And without a great, robust plan delivered to the county and the city council, I'm confident we would not be here today. But then the county council and the city council picked up and did their work, and I'm particularly proud of the work the city did. I want to acknowledge two of my colleagues who worked with me collaboratively to get the deal to a place where it is today, Councilmember Tim Burgess and Councilmember Sally Clark. But all of the players in this played a role. And I feel for you, Mr. Hansen, having to negotiate with 20 elected leaders. It is not an easy thing to do. And I don't know if you would have known what it looked like if you would have done it from the beginning, but we're glad you're here today. And as fun as that all was, I suspect that that's just a warm-up for what comes next in your negotiations with NBA owners. It's at a great spot we're here today, really excited about what comes next. I've had a chance to talk to media in a number of cities in the last couple weeks. And as much as I try to say how great it was to the elected leaders because we did great work, how important it was the fans that showed up and showed that there was a demand for professional basketball and professional hockey in this town. They played a huge role. But at the end of the conversation, I always have to say, it also helps to have an owner who really cares about the city and is interested in working with the city and the county. And in you, Mr. Hanson, we have that. So I will hand this off to a man who, a year ago, I don't know if anyone in this room knew other than his mother. But today, he doesn't need an introduction. But Chris Hanson, thank you so much for what you've done for the city today.
Wow. It's a great day. Great day. Long time in the coming, but great day. Thank you. You know, I don't do so good reading from a script or with prepared remarks, but I just say, you know, really great that we're at this point. Doesn't mean there's not a lot of work left to be done, both in terms of, you know, getting this process through environmental review, through the economic impact study, you know, satisfying all the, you know, concerns that still remain out there, and most importantly, trying to find an NBA team to bring back to Seattle and an NHL owner interested in bringing a team to our great city. I think a lot of people told me when I first started this process about the Seattle way and how difficult it was, and thank God I didn't listen to them, you know. But I think it's also a great testament to, you know, we do have a great community, and we put our minds to it, and people are passionate about it. You know, I think this whole process sets a great example for our city on when we put our minds to doing something, and everybody's interests are aligned, and people are working toward a common cause that they believe in. You know, we can do great things, really. So, a lot of people to thank, you know, clearly Mayor McGinn and his staff, Dow Constantine and his staff, from engaging with us in the beginning and listened to our crazy idea to get this arena built, to the council members for, you know, hearing us and deliberating and putting the time in to, you know, vet our proposal and come up with some different solutions to things that we had thought were pretty good already, to the Arena Advisory Panel for, you know, interjecting a lot of good ideas into the process, to our own advisory group that we put together for, you know, rallying business support behind us, to the literally, you know, tons of human community outreach organizations that got up and spoke at every public testimony we had about how valuable the Sonics are and how valuable professional sports are to at-risk youth. I mean, that really, really made a big difference. You know, to organizations like Brian Robinson, Save Our Sonics, and Sonicsgate, which, you know, kept the candle burning here and, you know, and did a great job of rallying people behind us, to, you know, KJR and Sports Radio, Cairo, ESPN Sports Radio, for, you know, being the voice of us out there and rallying all the Sonics and NHL fans. But most of all, you know, thanks to all the fans, really. I mean, it's just the amount of green and gold in the city over the last, you know, 6 months has been incredible. You know, a lot of you guys know Macklemore. I'm sure you're watching him blow up right now, which is great for our city. My brother was at the concert and he was like, man, you would not believe how much green and gold is at the Macklemore concert over any other professional sports, and they don't have a team yet. And I think that's just a testament to, you know, what this team means to this city. So a lot of hard work left to be done, but I mean, I think everybody who played a role in getting us to where we are should take a step back and just reflect on this moment. Sometimes things happen so gradually, I think we forget to, you know, really realize the gravity of the situation. And standing here today with this legislation signed, giving us the ability to go out there and get squatched back, you know? It's just it's a great day, great day. So thank you, everybody. I'll turn it back over to Dow. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris Hanson. Thank you, Chris. So if you would have told me when I was a high school kid skipping school to stand in the street and watch my world champion Seattle Supersonics enjoy their parade, that I would be here today signing legislation to bring my team back to town, I would have thought you're crazy. That's what we're going to do right now. So, Mr. Mayor, would you join me at the table as we sign this legislation into law?
Oh, he's double checking the date.
So I am signing into law King County Ordinance 2012-388.2.
Yeah.
I don't know the number. I'm signing it for law. I'm signing it for law, the legislation to bring back the sonic.